Another day in the NBA here, and this should hopefully be a fun one while the world is distracted by Thursday night football. We're to dig in and do the work we always do here on the Splash Play channel. We're to compare my projections to one of the industry leaders out there, our friends over at Stokastic. We'll see who the top plays are, who the top value plays are. We'll also go game by game, checking ownership along the way, seeing where potential leverage spots are. We'll hop over to Stokastic, run a sim without my interference. Maybe we'll do a single lineup sim as well. By the end of this video, you'll know all the must plays for today, December 11th NBA slate. Let us get into it here. Unfortunately, I can't use this Chiron again because that was really not the most evergreen one. I did not win a tournament yesterday, but did win one 2 days ago. I'm not going to update it to keep saying it's not going to be like the time since disaster clock kind of things that people have. I will just try to win another tournament again, so I can just use that same Chiron another day. That's the dream here. But shout out to all you guys watching live. Shout out to the chat as well. Appreciate everybody who is here. And appreciate you guys being here as always. And Stokastic, I am not sure if this is actually up and running yet. Let me see. I think they might be up and running. Hold on. So I know if I can promote this full-throatedly. Oh. It seems like parts of their site are back up, but not the affiliate stuff. Well, either way, click the link down below. Use the promo code SPLASH over there. At some point, hopefully, I'll get credit for it. But either way, if you want to save that money, 15% off whenever Stokastic is up and running. If it's not right now, use that promo code. Check out their data. Check out all the Sims products. Cheap stuff, expensive stuff, all 15% off at Stokastic. And, of course, it does support the show when you do that. Shout out to the kind chats here. Yeah, not up yet. It'll be up soon, I'm sure. They did update ownership before the show, which is part of why I always start a minute or two late, but it was a little bit even more late today because I had to rerun stuff, get things aligned here. We are good to go for today's slate. We got Nikola Jokic, top protected guy, 12.9 salary, still no Aaron Gordon, still no Christian Brown. As a result, Jokic looks like one of the best plays in the NBA. Overall, this year with those guys off the court, Jokic has averaged actually just 1.5 fantasy points a minute. He's been a little bit less effective, 28% usage, 36% assist rate, still elite numbers, but technically not as high of a usage as you would have thought based on the fact that he does have more usage when those guys play. But as it is for Nikola Jokic, I still have him at a 69.6 projection. Jokic in this spot, a short slate, never the kind of situation where I'm going to be too afraid to go to him, especially going against a team like Sacramento. Sacramento's shorthanded today. No Zach LaVine. Seemingly Dennis Schroeder going to be out as well. So really the biggest question you have for Jokic is, do they beat Sacramento off the court? Does Jamal Murray put up a ton of points here and hurt Jokic's day? But as it is at 8.5% ownership, Jokic under that 13K salary feels a little bit more playable. I'm getting Jokic at 27% of my top 150 lineups, and the field is at 8.5%. If you hassle me, no matter who you are, I guess as a paying member, you could hassle me a little bit, but I just, when you mute, you get muted. Yeah. I don't need the hassle. This is I have to enjoy this process. The vibes aren't there for me to do good content, and you got to go. So, but Zach, you're fine. Denny Avdia, we got 59% ownership. Field ownership pretty high for Avdia. He has been great, but even though my projection is higher than Stokastic at 54.1, Stokastic at 52.8, I am getting less ownership. I'm not sure why that would be. Avdia, though, does look good. The main thing I would say for me is that I do have Jeremy Grant projected pretty well. We will see him in a moment, but he's currently getting into 85% of my top lineups. But Portland, still no Scoot Henderson for the year. Still no Drew Holiday. He remains out. Donovan Clingan being out. For guys like Avdia and Jeremy Grant, who do get some peripherals in terms of rebounds and assists, do also get a usage uptick for not having Drew Holiday out there. I think they both look like particularly good plays, and at this point, any team who's facing Portland or facing New Orleans here, you're gonna have a good matchup. But the 240.5 implied points in that game with Portland and New Orleans, highest total on the slate. So things looking pretty good for Denny Avdia here, but Portland overall, definitely well represented in ownership, and deservedly so. Jaylen Brown, $9,900 salary. Pretty steep price tag for Jaylen Brown. Boston today. Where are they at? Facing Milwaukee in a game with a not super great total of 223.5. But certainly Milwaukee's defense not particularly good, giving up about 118 points per 100 possessions. That is towards the middle part of the league, but definitely lower than not. I think Jaylen Brown, you want to make the case for upside here. It's that Milwaukee can potentially hang in this game, give a competitive 4 quarters. Jaylen Brown, who is putting up a ton of usage on the year with 36% usage rate, overall 1.34 fantasy points per minute. I think really if Milwaukee stays competitive, that's where Jaylen Brown can hit that upside. But Avdia, I think in a better situation, and the positionality is better because you can play him at point guard or small forward. Jaylen Brown, just a small forward. 11% ownership. I don't mind Jaylen Brown. I feel like if you're not going to play Avdia and you were to play Jaylen Brown, were to play Jamal Murray, were to play Nikola Jokic, if you could afford that, I think these plays certainly look rock solid to me and much less owned. Jamal Murray playing well on the year, as we've talked about, and really identified pretty early on that he was playing like a better version of himself compared to a lot of parts of last year. But Jamal Murray holding steady at 1.2 fantasy points per minute with a 27% usage rate, a 28.6% assist rate. Much like Jokic, he doesn't really gain a ton in usage from Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown being out. He just kind of holds steady in the numbers. But overall, Jamal Murray has been great, shooting well, which is a big part of Jamal Murray, him airing on the positive side of things. He's been at 63.5% true shooting on the year, which may be a little bit unsustainably hot, but, above league average is where he should be. So for Jamal Murray, I think him and Jaylen Brown, very viable pivots to Denny Avdia. Avdia, though, very good play. Really never a spot where I'm unhappy to get Denny Avdia when we have anybody out from Portland. But Jamal Murray and Jaylen Brown, 10% owned compared to 59%. That's a pretty big discount you're getting in ownership. If you like money, go and bet over on Jeremy Grant threes and Texas -7 against Michigan. Oh, maybe they'll rally together for Michigan. The Shamar Moore thing, that's his name, right? I forget the first name. But that's like one of the weirdest situations ever. The reports were that, and this is like Reddit reports, it wasn't news reports, but he did get arrested and held in police custody after he got fired. He either went to attack the wife or attacked the mistress and threatened to kill himself in front of the mistress. And then there were some reports that they were trying to talk her into like a dual suicide. Like that really went out of control quickly. Michigan needs to figure that shit out. They lost Harbaugh, a ton of penalties, and now your coach is doing that. That's a tough culture over there. But anyway, I bet against them. It's really I guess, or maybe they'll really rally together. I don't really know what the historical precedent is for these situations. Alperen Şengün looks a little bit less good than the other guys in the 9-10K range. Certainly looks less good than Nikola Jokic as well. 6% owned for Şengün. You are facing a not great Clippers defense, but you are also pace down spot here. Both teams playing pretty slowly. Actually, I guess technically the Clippers are a slight pace up, but both teams about a 97 pace, which is about 97 possessions per game. That's pretty low. For comparison's sake, Portland at 102 is the highest on today's slate. So you're talking about 5 possessions less. It's not great, but Şengün could certainly be very efficient against the Clippers. I really think, though, if I'm going to take low-owned guys, I'd rather get Jaylen Brown, rather get Jamal Murray. Şengün, James Harden, to me, not the most appealing, but I am getting 9% Harden at 2% Şengün. Whole team is going to leave. Well, then they couldn't play a game, so then the bet would get voided. That's a tough one. Ryan Rollins, still getting Ryan Rollins in my data. The underlying rates are holding steady. I mean, the big thing is that Kevin Porter Jr. is so much better fantasy-wise. I mean, lately, or in terms of earning minutes as well. Let's check the popcorn machine. We've got enough time. Yeah, so Rollins last game played 23 minutes. I think he was in foul trouble, though. 1 foul. He had 2 fouls. I feel like they just didn't want to bring him back in that first half. Second half, he plays the entire third quarter. Comes back in the fourth. They're getting blown out. They take him back off. But Kevin Porter Jr. played 37 minutes. So I do think that the minutes are a lot steadier for Kevin Porter Jr. I think the production is also steadier for Kevin Porter Jr. But Rollins is still getting enough usage up. He just has to play well enough that he keeps the minutes that he can get, which is generally mid to high 30s. So I don't know if I want to be 3x the field more than that on Ryan Rollins. My projections still do go to 41.8 for him. Stokastic still has him as a respectable 38.1. I think he's playable, and I think with how well Kevin Porter Jr. has played, certainly I think getting Rollins a little bit more than the field, even if not 45% of your lineups, I think is a decent move. Jeremy Grant I talked about already. He's been producing overall without Klingon, without Drew Holiday. this year, 1.1 fantasy points per minute. That includes a 24% usage rate, 7% rebound rate's not that great, but it's okay. And a 20.5% assist rate. That's the good part. Also does add some defensive positioning there for blocks and steals. And, 3-pointers are there, especially against a soft Pelicans defense. I think for Jeremy Grant, there's a good amount of upside. Certainly, I think somebody in the chat was saying Shaedon Sharpe, a player that they're afraid of, playing Denny Avdia for that reason. But I think Sharpe, probably pulls from Jeremy Grant's plate a little bit more. And Jeremy Grant certainly can sometimes, I think, recede into the background a little bit too much, where he'll just kind of stand in the corner waiting for a three. The ball doesn't get there. But for the most part, Jeremy Grant's been coming up a lot for me lately. He keeps being a good enough play, if not a great play on slates. So I'm willing to be above on Jeremy Grant again. Again, 85%, a little bit aggressive. This is just what the Stokastic sim kind of does when I don't put more uniques on. So I don't know that I want that much, but definitely want to be above the field on Jeremy Grant with him being one of my top projected guys and one of my top value guys in the slate. Kevin Porter Jr. I still have him as a 5x value. Stokastic, though, has him a 41 projection. Actually seems like Stokastic basically has Porter Jr. flipped with Ryan Rollins in projection compared to where I have it. Certainly, I think if you give both guys, just give them both 40 fantasy points, you probably get enough of both, and you feel good about the number, and you get that Rollins upside. If he somehow plays well, you get Porter Jr. with the field at 41%. Porter Jr.'s gone nuts in recent games. I mean, really high usage. Last game, going back to the popcorn machine, put up 32 real life points with 14 peripherals, and that is with missing the last 5 minutes of the game due to a blowout. For Kevin Porter Jr., the roll is really good right now. I certainly don't think I'll be this low on the final numbers, but just in terms of what I'm getting right now, Stokastic kind of ended up giving me more Rollins, less Porter Jr. I would like to get close to the field on both and I'd like to get close to similar numbers on both. To me, like if I got 35% of both, that'd be cool. If I got 40% of both, I'd live with that. Favorite play is Herb Jones. Why? Because he's not going to get traded. He's been banged up. I don't think, and he doesn't really do a whole lot out there. He projects for 21 fantasy points. He doesn't. I don't know why you would. You could spend your money how you want, but I have literally no reason why Herb Jones would be a better play than any other day. That's just basically it. Vika Zubac, 22% ownership for me in the top 150. Fields at 14. Against Zubac going against Şengün. Going against Houston in general, not a matchup I love, but the price tag for Zubac does seem a little bit low at 7,200. He's averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Good rebounder. I know we should get in Zubac, but he certainly doesn't seem like a play I'm dying to get. Herb Jones is bougie Tony Snell. That's a tough one. I don't know that I agree with that, but I think Herb Jones is like a fine player. I don't know why New Orleans is so dead set on keeping him. Because frankly, getting any assets for him at this point, probably a better thing. Keep building around Derek Queen and maybe Fears. And I would sell Zion if you could, sell Trey Murphy if you could. They're not good enough. Herb Jones is like, I think the Lakers were hot in his trail, but like that's the kind of guy that any championship contender or wannabe would love to have, because like he does a lot more for that kind of team than he does for a team like the Pelicans, where he's out there not shooting. Not a good fantasy play. Great real life player for the right team. Let's go by top value plays. Before I do that, though, again, one more ask, guys. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. I got to be disciplined about asking for it because I need your guys' support here to keep growing the channel. Channel has honestly exceeded my expectations after we ran last year, partnered with Unabated this year. I went into business for myself entirely because I wanted to do it at a little bit of an earlier time that I thought was more advantageous for the content. And that's been working well. So help me out. Let's keep pushing along here. I'm going through all NBA season. That is the goal. As long as we keep hitting that like button, keep subscribing. And also keep checking out Stokastic, 15% off link down below. Again, the link, I don't know if it works right now, but it will at some point. But check it out over there. Of course, they have the best market tools here. You will never go wrong using Stokastic data and tools. And that's the big thing for me. I like, as I mentioned yesterday, like playing using my projections. When I win with my data, I feel so validated. But ultimately, using Stokastic stuff, for most of you guys out there that you don't want to spend hours a day using it, making your own projections that you feel good about, just use Stokastic and get great lineups and get stuff to tell people win every night. And also, last but not least, join the channel here if you want to get access to the Discord. If you want my projections, the matchup screens I show you here on screen, join one of the Squirt Squad tiers down below. Recommend doing it on desktop. You can also do it in iOS if you want. So please do join down below. It does support the show. And of course, goes a long way for me doing what I'm doing here. All the stuff helps out a lot, but the things where you spend money, I help the most. All right. That is an insane. These are bad takes. Seems Herb may take the usage from fears. Why? That's not how it's played out at any point this year. That's not the players they are. I can't help you out any more than that. Just understanding usage rates and what they are, looking it up, getting that stuff. That's just not. It's not the right. Whether Herb Jones plays well tonight or not, it's not the right way to approach DFS. You got to understand the data you're looking at a little bit better. Jeremy Grant, top value for me. Not a surprise based on everything we talked about. He's produced well with the guys that'll be missing tonight for Portland and New Orleans. Not a matchup we're worried about at all. So Jeremy Grant, I think we spent enough time on. Key play for me tonight. Core play for me tonight. He doesn't have a role. He doesn't have a role to reclaim. He's not doing anything. He's a defender. I'm sorry. I need to give you a little break. You just got to understand. These are not helpful chats for anybody. And anybody who's going to put up 5 chats in a row, let's take a little breather. Let's go back. Let's think about NBA DFS a little bit better. Robert Williams. I'm trying to embrace my inner John Cena of just finding I'm not gonna snap at people, not gonna even ham it up. I'm just gonna be at peace with you and just let's all just get better together. And let's not fill up my chat with foolishness. Do you lean towards Time Lord playing or no? I certainly hope so. For Time Lord as well, he's the number 2 value here. 71% ownership in the top 150. Fields at 55%. The fact that Time Lord Robert Williams played 30 minutes last time that he played was certainly nuts. He did miss last game. Today he's Q-tagged for an illness, and I don't recall if he was questionable for the illness as well the last game that he missed. But last game for Portland, it was Yang Hansen / Hansen Yang. I don't know which one we're supposed to go with, but I respect him and his culture equally. I won't read this out loud, but I think it's because the channel's growing and we do get, more people coming in, and I would love them to come along for the ride here and be very sharp and all that, but that's not always the case. So just, sometimes you got to sit back and you can watch, and then you can hop in when you feel like you got the read on the room. That's also a way to do things. But we got last game, Hansen Yang starts the game. Doesn't play a ton here, but he did have 2 fouls. Played about 4 minutes, hit the bench, came back in. I think he got a 3rd foul here. You played again. He got a 3rd and a 4th. Okay, so he really got buried in foul trouble. Second half, he did not pick up another foul, and he played about 6 minutes. Picked up his 5th foul. Played about 6 minutes. So if you don't get Robert Williams, would think that Yang Hansen gets about 24, 25 minutes or so. And then you're going to get Duop Reith playing the big minutes that aren't going to him. They did go small a little bit sometimes where they had Sissoko, I think, was playing the center technically. It might have been Jeremy Grant technically. But it's not splitting 48 minutes if it's not Robert Williams starting. The game before last for Portland was the one that Robert Williams started, I believe, versus Detroit. Your Robert Williams here, 30 minutes, which the big issue for previous Robert Williams seasons was that he wouldn't play, full amount of starter run. If he could play 30 minutes, he's going to get there in peripherals. And he also probably can score more than 8 points in certain situations. So for Robert Williams, I think he is good chalk if he plays. Coming off an illness, it's not an injury. It's going to limit him in a real way. If Robert Williams doesn't play, I think Yang Hansen is the one you want. And I don't know if that's actually a good play because he's only averaging. Wait, no, he's out. I forgot that he's already out. Right? Let me just make sure that's correct. Because then it's just going to be Duop Reith. Of course, Klingon already out. If you're confused why I'm spending this much time talking Portland centers. Sorry, just making sure I'm right here. Oh, no, Yang Hansen questionable. Because he got clotheslined in the face last game. So I guess face contusion, questionable. Yeah, so that's the deal right now for the center situation. If Robert Williams plays, he should be getting into a lot of lineups. If he doesn't play, Yang Hansen is he 3K? He's 3,600. Yang Hansen playable, but not necessarily a great play. Really, the biggest thing is if you get Robert Williams out, I think the rebounds numbers for Denny Avdia will start to go nuts. I would think that for Jeremy Grant as well. Tamani Kamara is going to look better. Kamara, whatever he is. So Robert Williams, really important one right now. Do Robert Williams and Grant feed off each other erotically? Do they, like smiling friend style, eating cookies off each other's bodies? I'm going to say no. I don't think they feed off each other. And I also don't think they're competing for the same projection, really. Again, if like Robert Williams is out, there's more rebounds for Jeremy Grant. But ultimately, the way Jeremy Grant's going to get there is stocks plus points, plus a few assists. Pretty sure Williams' last Q tag was knee related, not an illness. Okay. Yes, that's an important one to know. Any worries about a minutes limit for Robert Williams? Not great because he has historically had knee issues. But seeing him play those 30 minutes last time out, I was like, okay, maybe he's like back to somewhat healthiness. So I'll be with the field on him no matter what. I think relative to what we know news-wise, as we get closer to lock, I think I would like to maybe not go crazy on the ownership. Portland is an 8 o'clock tip. The first 3 games, Clippers, Houston, Portland, New Orleans, Boston, Milwaukee, all 8 o'clock tips. Denny Avdia, we've talked about. DeMar DeRozan, thumbnail guy. Before the data was out, had to make a guess on who might be a relevant play. Thankfully, DeMar DeRozan is. You got Zach LaVine out. Doubtful tag on Dennis Schroeder. Still no Domantas Sabonis as well. So for Sacramento at this point, the situation's looking pretty good in terms of usage for your remaining guys. So that's going to be DeMar DeRozan, who going back to last year, court time without Sabonis, without LaVine, without Schroeder too. DeMar DeRozan has averaged 1.1 fantasy points a minute on 27% usage and a 24% assist rate, and that's a pretty good sample size. Malik Monk also will be a better play. He's averaged about 1.1 fantasy points a minute, and he'll pick up a lot of guard minutes left behind. But Maxime Reynaud, better play. Russell Westbrook, a better play, though. He hasn't gone nuts without those guys. He's only averaged 1.2 fantasy points a minute, which is good, but it's not like a crazy great situation. DeMar DeRozan, though, way too cheap. I think it's 6,500. So right now he's making 45% of my lineups. Fields at 27. But he is a chalky play that I'm getting more of. Let's see. 5th was knee. 7th and today, illness. Okay. Well, hopefully he'll be okay. Well, the 5th is when he played to 30 minutes then, right? Just looking at this again. Yeah, so this was the day. So yeah, he had a Q tag on this day. He played 30 minutes. So I would assume he's okay then if we're at an illness now for Robert Williams. Definitely, honestly, important stuff to talk about. So I appreciate you guys giving me some clarity here and talking through that, because that's definitely, it's important, because like really last year, that was the reason Robert Williams would always fail his chalk, is that the minutes just never were there. But if he played through the knee injury the first time and then we're on their injury report for illness, no reason to assume he wouldn't play this time. We got Nikola Jokic, we've talked about. He looks like a top value despite being 12-9, so you get how that works and why he would make a good amount of lineups for me. Ryan Rollins, we talked about. Think he's underpriced, but as I've mentioned enough here, my projection's light on Kevin Porter Jr., high on Ryan Rollins. Certainly the chalk has been Kevin Porter Jr. hitting over and over again, so that could keep happening, but I do think Ryan Rollins, if he shoots well, I think he does eat a little bit off from the same plate as Kevin Porter Jr. Malik Monk, 26 minutes in the projection. Still not a crazy projection for me at 25.7. Stokastic actually has him better at 27.1, but a lot of minutes to go around. No LaVine, no Schroeder. Malik Monk's going to be out there, and he certainly can get hot and break a slate. Fields at 33%. I'm getting 52. Love that price tag at 4,800. Jonas Valanciunas is making a lot of lineups for me, and I don't love that. Again, it's one of those slates where the Jamal Shed slates, the Goga Batadze slates, there's no real good value right now, and I think we would need probably something unexpected at this point to hit, really, for there to be meaningful value. So Valanciunas, 36% or 37 for the field. I'm at the same number. The projection's not great. 18 fantasy points, 19. But certainly he can put up a lot of points fast against Sacramento, who is awful. And certainly if they blow out the other team, they blow out the Kings, that's one of those spots where maybe Valanciunas contributes meaningfully to that blowout or plays a few extra minutes on the back end of that. Vika Zubac, we talked about. Shaedon Sharpe, the other Trailblazer, also looks like a good play, though not as good to me as Jeremy Grant or Denny Avdia. But really, all of that big three, great positionality. You have small forward, power forward for Grant, point guard, small forward for Avdia, shooting guard, small forward for Shaedon Sharpe. I've been playing a lot of Trailblazers lately because having no Drew Holiday and none of the other stuff out there. Okay, enough. See you later, buddy. Just, again, 5 dumb chats in a row is a bit too many, but it's okay. I wish you the best in your pursuits. Find other things to watch. You can find joy. We got Shaedon Sharpe here, though. Think a strong play here, but I'm only getting 24%. Fields at 35. Neemias Queta, 18% ownership for me. Fields at 21. He's been producing pretty well on the year. I think he's at 1.1 or 1.2 fantasy points per minute. He's at 1.1 fantasy points a minute. The rebound rate in particular for Queta is helpful, and he's going against a Milwaukee team that can brick a lot of shots, and that's usually how they do get blown off the court. For Neemias Queta, $5,300 center. That's really enough to get in, and especially on a slate where a lot of the field's going to play a Jonas Valanciunas. Maybe just pay up a little bit more, get a more credible center who's going to play, potentially starter run plus closing minutes. I think it's not a bad reason to go to Neemias Queta today. We're going to go game by game here, guys. Of all the Keon Ellis today, I mean, valid play as well. I do think that Monk is the much better play. DeRozan, Westbrook's pretty pricey, but like those guys are guaranteed a role. Keon Ellis, he will probably get minutes, but I don't know that he's guaranteed a real role, if that makes sense. What did he play last game? He played 15 minutes last game, put up 3 points and 1 peripheral. He's just not doing a whole lot out there, even if he does get minutes. Who knows? We're going to go game by game, though, guys. Again, show some love. I just want to have an enjoyable experience on my end, and I want to make it good for you guys here, adding value to your NBA DFS process. So please join that journey here. Hit the like button, subscribe. This channel won't be for everyone, and I'm perfectly at peace with that because I'd rather have less viewers and enjoy what I'm doing every day, and that's what I'm going to keep doing here. So please hit that like button, please subscribe, and we can be on this quest to win money in the NBA, especially days like today where the field is going to be distracted. Big NFL showdown slate. I think it's a good day to play NBA, and frankly, my results have shown that as well. I've been playing more on the NBA Monday and Thursdays because of the fact that I'm just getting good results on those days, and yeah, you may as well. Stokastic, check it out. Link down below as well if you want to go see all the great tools and data they have. I'm not sure that link works right now, but I'm sure it will at some point in the next few hours. Stokastic going through some tech issues right now, but they still got the projections updated. Shout out to them. They make the video better with their process, and they can make your life better in NBA DFS with 15% off if you use the promo code SPLASH. And last but not least, join the channel. $5 to join, support the show. If you want to get my data updated throughout the night, which I use, which just won me first place a couple days ago, you can do that by joining one of the Squirt Squad tiers down below. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? All right. Clippers, 106.5 implied points. Houston, 116 implied points. Not a lot of ownership for the Clippers, but they are a team that struggles a lot, facing a team that's very good defensively. And also, Houston is good defensively in a way that you just don't love for the Clippers. A lot of young athletic guys. I don't know. That's really all it takes. Zubac, though, cheap price tag at $7,200. I think that looks good to me, or good enough to get to. But at this point, especially if we don't know, actually, no, there's enough games at 8 o'clock. We'll know everything we need to know. But I was going to say, if there were players that we didn't know about, you're not really losing anything, not playing any of the Clippers. Just never a spot. I think you want to go crazy against Houston. James Harden, revenge narrative. Sure. He's been playing better lately since the Chris Paul situation. Seems like there's maybe some personal accountability that went on for him and Kawhi. But maybe not, could just be small sample size. I'm getting better results. But no ownership really for these guys, both under 10% owned. So certainly if James Harden, Kawhi break the slate, it's a short enough slate that they can do that. Houston, kind of the same thing here. Again, a low pace spot on both sides. Both teams hovering around a 97 pace. Şengün, always see the upside for sure, but price tag at 9,600 seems like there's better ways to spend that money. Kevin Durant, really not seeing it at 2% ownership, but he's another guy mostly unplayed on a relatively short slate. And Thompson, same thing. A lot of high usage wings. Maybe he gets some more peripherals today. He's been not great on the year, though. 54% true shooting. And he did not step up when Kevin Durant was out. And that was very disappointing for me because he had a ton of usage in those games, just didn't do it. And Şengün, too. He just has not stepped up a lot lately, fantasy-wise and real-life-wise. Still a great defender. Jabari Smith getting 12%. Fields at 6%. Definitely an okay price tag and small forward, power forward, 2 spots that are sometimes hard to fill. Reed Shepherd's look like a good value for me. The role is not as steady as it was earlier in the year. In terms of minutes, for Houston, again, and the Clippers, if you took this game off the slate, I really don't think it would impact much. But certainly somebody could hit an upside here and be unowned. So you never want to totally poo-poo it. Portland, 122 implied points. Nolans, 118.5. Looks like a nice competitive game on paper. I would say I view Portland as a better team than New Orleans. They've played up against, can this line up just a little bit better? Whatever. Fuck it. feel like Portland has played up. They've beaten the Thunder. They've played competitive with the Thunder, even in a game where they didn't beat them. New Orleans, Derek Queen, I love. Everything else, getting Jordan Poole in, I don't love that for the team. But Portland, totally worth the ownership here. No Klingon, no Drew Holiday, still no Scoot Henderson. With Robert Williams in, Williams looks great. Ton of my lineup, 71% right now. Jeremy Grant, 85%. He has been a great play for me at low ownership on multiple slates lately. Denny Avdia, always a good play, even with the price tag up. Feels like he gets a 10K. It would still be a worthwhile play at 9,700. A little bit underpriced, especially with point guard shooting, small forward eligibility. Shaden Sharp, playable. I'm just getting the least of him out of Grant, Robert Williams, and Avdia. And Tamani Kamara, still 0.78 fantasy points a minute. Not a great player, but can add peripherals. And if certainly all the other chalky players fail, maybe Kamara. I feel like I've heard it said both, but in my brain, I'm stuck on Kamara. Kamara can play better, just, not a great projection on him. But really, Portland looks great. If Robert Williams is out, watch for Yang Hansen. Duop Reith, if both those guys are out, definitely would be an option at 3,300. Though really, the further you go down here, like Robert Williams produces about 1.2 fantasy points a minute, Yang Hansen 0.8, Duop Reith 0.76. So every time you get one of those guys ruled out, like they're all just going to be slightly worse of a play at center. In New Orleans, 118.5 implied points here. Trey Murphy, 10% owned by the field. I'm getting 5. Derek Queen, 21% owned. I'm getting 15. Love Derek Queen, but at 6,900, you are getting a little bit priced out with Jordan Poole back in. But Jordan Poole, he himself does not look great at 20.7 minute projection. Coming off an injury for a while. He shot terribly before that. I think he's going to kill the vibes of this team, would be my personal bet here. And I think he's been like the least toxic version of Jordan Poole from what the limited time that he had played this year. I've watched a lot of Pelicans because it seems like they're always in play fantasy-wise. And I think for how this looks, just like you want usage, like I think you even want Trey Murphy gone at this point. Go somewhere where his shooting and wing defense can help out. But like Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears, just want these guys to get up more shots. And Jordan Poole is going to hurt to that end. Jordan Poole being back in, nobody good. And so, for Herb Jones here, getting him in 19% of my lineups, fields at 21. It's not really because of his tremendous usage that he's going to take away from Jeremiah Fears, who is a pure chucker. Jeremiah Fears, by the way, also has technically the highest usage on the team. Herb Jones, 15.6%. Jeremiah Fears at 25.6%. But Herb Jones, the fact that he does add a little bit of rebounds, a little bit of assists, can add some steals, will put up like 10 points. Herb Jones in play at 4,400. So again, not a great play. Got to learn how to understand these players too. He's not going to get a ton of shots up, but he can be enough on this slate at 4,400. So that's the annoying guy. There you go. Boston, 116.5 implied points. Milwaukee, 107 implied points. Jaylen Brown, 9,900, projects well for me, but not as well as Denny Avdia. So I'm only getting 9%, fields at 11. But I have Jaylen Brown at about 49 fantasy points. Same for Stokastic. I think he has been playing very well in the year, and Milwaukee is not a team you're worried about defensively or offensively at this point. You're honestly, the thing you're worried about most of Milwaukee is like, are they going to get blown off the court here and not allow my starters to get 4 quarters a run? For Jaylen Brown, though, he's just been very good. Derek White, 9% ownership for me, fields at 6. He's expensive at 7,800. Don't really feel like you need Derek White, but he plays good minutes, still due to shoot better on the year at 52.5% true shooting. League average, 58% and change. Derek White, a good player. He's slowly clawing his way back because he was at like low 40s at one point. But it's going to take a while longer, so maybe he gets hot today. Peyton Pritchard, I'm at 20%, fields at 17. He's cheap enough at 6,600. When you get balance builds, guys in this 5K, 6K range, come up a little bit more like Peyton Pritchard. And Neemias Queta feels like a pivot to whatever J-Val ownership, whatever cheap center ownership comes in. Queta, not a super exciting play, but he's producing 1.1 fantasy points a minute. He'll get some shots. Milwaukee, really think Miles Turner, again, visually to me, half-assing it so much every game since Giannis has been hurt. And I kind of think the reports about, Giannis has told the team, like, don't lose focus. Kyle Kuzma said he didn't actually have a meeting with the team or anything. But I think that's kind of somebody talking through Giannis about people, certain people on the team not trying as hard. That to me, that's 100% got to be Miles Turner. Like, he has got his money, and he's been a fucking slog to watch this year. Poole nerfs Anderson Alvarado, who's getting good minutes. That's also fair. Yeah, again, Poole's not going to play enough to matter for himself, but he will play enough to hurt pretty much everybody else. Milwaukee, 107 implied points. Fields going to go to Kevin Porter Jr. again. I have no issue with it. He's averaging 1.4 fantasy points a minute. Unsustainable true shooting as well at 74%, while Ryan Rollins hovering right around league average. And normally he'd probably be a little bit higher than that. I'm cool getting more Rollins, less Kevin Porter Jr. But realistically, I think they're both good plays. I'd like to get them around 40% for both. Maybe a little bit lower for Rollins because the field's just not there. Porter Jr., though, played a ton of minutes last game while Rollins had some foul trouble, did not get it to as high of a level. It does seem to me like Porter Jr. has pulled ahead of the Rollins part of the pecking order. He was viewing these guys initially as like, same level, 1A, 1B. I still think if Rollins shoots well, like he can take shots away and situations, leading the offense away from Kevin Porter Jr. But Kevin Porter Jr. is playing well and he contributes in a lot of categories. But rates on the year is still pretty close though. 24.2% usage for Rollins, 26 for Porter Jr., 7.4% rebound rate for Rollins, 7 for Porter Jr., 28% assist rate for Rollins, 32% for Porter Jr. I think they're more similar of a play than people will think, but certainly the market data might disagree. Miles Turner, who's again playing like an average player, not a guy worth 180 mil, whatever he got. Don't really see him as an option at 5,900, but he's not gonna get played on a short slate, so you could play him for that reason. AJ Green's got a Q tag, not playable to me if he's in. Bobby Portis not looking too good to me. I think you'd want AJ Green out to get any Portis. He can get more minutes though, but 16% ownership for the field. Portis feels about appropriate to me. And last game here, we got Denver, 125 implied points. This one as well. If you got any weird like late Q tags, you need to know the status of this game. It's a 10 p.m. Start time today, so definitely a very important game. We kind of have a read, though, on what's happening here with Levine already ruled out. Dennis Schroeder, doubtful. But Denver, 120, and obviously Sabonis already out as well. Denver with their 125 implied points makes Jokic look pretty good. Very soft matchup. Sacramento giving up 120 points per 100 possessions. Also a slight pace up going against Sacramento for Denver as well. And yeah, with the matchup, with the rates for no Aaron Gordon, no Christian Brown, Nikola Jokic, I have a 2.04 fantasy points a minute today. So slate breaking level of production. If the field's going to play 8.5%, I'm happy to get 3x that. Jamal Murray, I'm getting 19%. The field's a 10. It's just a good spot. Really seems like to me, one of Jokic or Murray very likely to hit their ceiling, and they both are combined under 20% owned. That seems crazy to me on a short slate. Peyton Watson, I'm at 23%, Fields at 13. Another player who we've seen hit a massive 50 fantasy point ceiling, but most likely he's going to give you 25 to 30 and not kill you. And I think with small forward, power forward, he'll make a lineup work. Cameron Johnson, just not doing enough with Brown and Gordon off the court to resonate for me. He's shooting fine, though. If he hits some shots, it'll work out for him. He's going to play a ton of minutes, but usage not there. Price tag at 5,300. Shooting guard, I don't think you'd need him. Tim Hardaway Jr., a little bit cheaper, projects close enough to Cam Johnson. I'm okay getting him. 30% of my lineups have him right now in my top 150. The field's at 22. Jay Val, we talked about, no real value on the slate. So you get the backup center who produces really well per minute at 1.33 fantasy points per minute. Denver, I think there's a lot of stuff to love because Sacramento is a dog shit team going against them. And then Sacramento with no Sabonis. With no Zach LaVine, with most likely no Dennis Schroeder. Usually doubtful guys do not play. And there's been no change in status so far. Not with the Russell Westbrook ownership. Fields at 41. I'm getting 9. I am high on DeRozan, though. I've got him at 45% ownership in my top 150. Fields at 27. DeRozan, cheap. Westbrook, I mean, he could put up a triple-double here. He could certainly get there rebound and assist-wise. Just the rates don't increase enough without LaVine and without Schroeder that I think Westbrook is an appreciably better play than he would be, whereas DeRozan does get more usage, does get more assist rate. So I'm favoring DeRozan, favoring Malik Monk. These guys are cheap, but Westbrook certainly can hit a ceiling at 8K, and I'm not that far off the projection. I'm 2 points lower than Stokastic, but we're both hovering around a 5x value, so it's a lot of Westbrook ownership, I think, but I don't want to be, I don't want to have 10%. I think I'd like to have like 20, 25. Malik Monk is in half my lineups. Precious Achiuwa not getting into as many for me, only 11%. The field's at 30 for Achiuwa. Again, looking for value on the slate. Keon Ellis, 26% ownership for me. Fields at 8. Another guy getting more minutes at guard. And he's shooting guard, small forward, 3,300. But he's producing terribly on the year at 0.67 fantasy points a minute, so nothing that good. What about Bruce Brown? He looks like a 3.9x value for me, so he would not be an option. He's probably due to shoot better, but he's not shooting enough that I think you take that leap in a day where everybody's healthy. I think you take a leap on a guy like Bruce Brown when you have, I guess you have pretty aggressive chalk for Hardaway Jr. and Cam Johnson. So I get maybe what you're thinking. But I think for Bruce Brown, you need like Jokic and Murray to be out. And then it's like maybe there's enough usage that Bruce Brown finally gets shooting a little bit more. But it seems like he is settling back into like a pure defensive role for Denver. Not really assisting either. Rebounding the same rate he normally would. Nothing special. All right, we're going to go to the Stokastic side of things next. You've seen what my data looks like. Now we'll see what the one of the market leaders' data. And it looks like they updated stuff too. So hot off the presses here for some projections. But guys, show some love here, just like Michael's giving me. Love what you're doing here, Spags. I appreciate that. But guys, hit that like button. Please subscribe. Again, goes a long way for you here. Just one guy trying to keep my own vibes high so we keep doing this work every Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. Showing you guys my projections, showing you guys around the industry. Stokastic in particular, a great partner of mine for many years and a great tool for you as well if you want to hop in. But again, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m., no matter what's going on. NFL days, I'm here Monday to Friday doing the work for NBA. And of course, Stokastic, check them out. Again, not sure if you could sign up right now, but when you can sign up, go do that because it is a great product and a great site over at Stokastic. Lots of people winning money over on Stokastic, so check it out. Use the promo code SPLASH or click the link down below and head over there. And again, I don't think it's up right now, but I'm sure it will be soon enough. I hope so. That's one of the ways I make money is that link. Like legit, that is a big part of things. But join the Discord because you can't sign up for Stokastic right now. $5 to join. If you want my projections updating throughout the night, again, it was good enough to win me first place on a slate 2 days ago. Maybe it can win you money tonight using my data here. Really, any market-based projection, you'll be fine. No Alvarado love. Jordan Poole's back in. We just talked about that. I appreciate you, Joseph. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a part of things here. Hope you got into the Discord too. I know we had some people joining, so hopefully you're one of those. Let's see what we get here on this sim. I think we'll have time to do a hand build as well. The system works. Come on. Compile those results, baby. Let's get going here. My last stream of the day, and now I could start tinkering with lineups, particularly for NFL. Check out my NFL stream, too, if you want to play the Showdown slate on the @SplashPlay Pod channel. If you're on Twitter, you get them both in the same spot. But I like playing some more Atlanta pass game, especially when it doesn't involve Kyle Pitts, because Kyle Pitts is going to be, I think he's a good play, but he's going to be owned out the wazoo. I really thought this would be done by now. What other thoughts do I have? I enjoyed the Supergirl trailer. Millie Alcock, 25 years old in real life, so you can be a creep about her if you want. But love what James Gunn's doing. Fun trailer. I encourage you to watch it. But your top ROI lineups right now, unrelated, not sponsored by Supergirl or DC. We got Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams, Russell Westbrook. Nick Clifford makes this one. That's interesting. Neemias Queta. Nick Clifford, one of those guys that the Kings have apparently declared untouchable, which I think is kind of funny because he hasn't really played a lot yet. He's producing 0.67 fantasy points are in it. Does gain assist upside, though. 21% assist rate, up from 12% when you take off Levine and Schroeder. So Levine gets more involved, or Clifford gets more involved when those guys are off. That's interesting. When will crypto get us do? We bought Kitty. I bought Kitty a crypto like cape thing for Halloween. But then she kept trying to bite it, and we didn't do anything with her for Halloween anyway because she would have been annoying going trick or treating with Luca and his little friends. So unfortunately, she only wore it around the house. But Kitty was briefly crypto. Crypto though, well represented in the Supergirl trailer. Malik Monk at number 2, Tim Hardaway Jr. Lots of juniors on the slate coming up in these lineups. Jeremy Grant, Peyton Watson, Robert Williams again, Russell Westbrook again, Nick Clifford again. Nikola Jokic makes this one. Like I like these lineups so far, I think. Especially Ryan Rollins in the first one. Number 2, Malik Monk. And this is not my projections, by the way. This is all Stokastic data. Keep that in mind when you see Ryan Rollins coming up as often as he is. I'm not influencing it here. Malik Monk, Ryan Rollins, Herb Jones, Nick Clifford, Neemias Queta, Russell Westbrook, Keon Ellis, Nikola Jokic. Number 4, Russell Westbrook, Ryan Rollins, Jeremy Grant, Josh Minot, Robert Williams, Jamal Murray, Bobby Portis, Neemias Queta again. Definitely some overlapping similarities here. A lot of Westbrook. Westbrook is in all of the top 5. Number 4, Russell Westbrook, Ryan. Oh, we actually read that one. Number 5, Kevin Porter Jr., Tim Hardaway Jr., double junior here. Kyle Kuzma makes this one. Precious Achiuwa, Robert Williams, Russell Westbrook, Keon Ellis, Nikola Jokic. All right. That was more Westbrook than I was mostly prepared for. Bitcoin's about to fall off a cliff and may never be the same again. Why do we say that? Because of crypto the dog? I hope not. I hope he's only doing good things, though he did show that he has pretty poor bladder discipline. He's not spaceship trained. We learned in the trailer. Your top ROI players. I'm sorry, guys. We just got to get through these streams somehow. And sometimes it is talking about crypto to the dog more than you're comfortable with. Nick Clifford. Great content on crypto for parents, though. The Adventures of the Super Pets. Great movie. Good book series. Nick Clifford, top ROI player, 3,500. Stokastic loves Nick Clifford. If I had to guess, it's probably mostly the salary and small forward, power forward than it is anything about Nick Clifford, because he really has done nothing special. His rates do seem to increase, though, from having no Levine and no Schroeder in a meaningful way. And, for Nick Clifford, that's at least something. Derek White at 7,800, number 2 ROI player. Again, definitely due to shoot better. The price tag's pretty lofty. Nikola Jokic, number 3 ROI player. Stokastic seems to think he's worth paying up for. Curious to see what the exposure is going to be for him in a minute. Derek Queen at number 4. I feel a lot better about that if we knew Jordan Poole wasn't going to play. Because I really do think he is a black hole, a burden upon this team. But, certainly Derek Queen playing well and can put up a triple-double no matter who's around him. Malik Monk, number 5. Russell Westbrook, Keon Ellis, Ryan Rollins, not too far behind. Overall highest exposed guys for Stokastic across their top 150. Robert Williams at 68%. Fields at 53%. Yeah, I want to be above on Robert Williams if he plays. And again, really helpful from the chat earlier. Seemingly knee injury 2 games ago. Then he played 30 minutes in that game, got ruled in and played. This game today, he missed last game for illness. And then today, he's questionable with an illness. So hopefully Robert Williams can go back if he does play today and play high 20s minutes, maybe even 30 again. Russell Westbrook, Stokastic giving you 67%, Fields at 43%. Big stand in favor of Russ. They might have juked his minutes a little bit higher, so he might come up for me as well. Malik Monk, 59%, Fields at 30%. He's cheap, and Westbrook is not, so I definitely support getting more Malik Monk. Kevin Porter Jr., 53%, Fields at 41%. Really hard to argue being above, given that he smashed his price tag. He's probably not priced as highly as he should be. That said, Ryan Rollins, you saw it in the top ROI lineups. If Rollins hits, Kevin Porter Jr. probably has a lower likelihood of hitting in the same way he has previously. Derek Queen, 43% exposure, Fields at 22%. He is a top ROI player, and you are getting him a lot in Stokastic data. And Nick Clifford at 41%. Jeremy Grant, not too far behind. Shaden Sharp, also right there. Stepped away from NBA props on stream. Give thoughts on Ellis under 1.53s. I would have to dig in deeper than I want to right now to find my projection for it. He's shooting 3.2 a game. You would assume that with other guys out, he might get to like 4 or 5 today. I probably wouldn't love the under, but it's likely a coin flip bet, so you could follow your heart. Your highest leverage play is Malik Monk, 29% leverage here. He's in 59% lineups, Fields at 30%. Again, it's a little bit too cheap at 4,800. Malik Monk is just one of those plays that I think should make a lot of your lineups as a play that you try to get the guys who will spike and hit a meaningful ceiling around him. And Monk himself can spike a ceiling here with all the usage being vacated. Nick Clifford, 25% leverage. I feel less good about him, but 3,500 small forward, power forward. I'm pretty sure that's why you're getting him. Russell Westbrook, 23% leverage. Ceiling is certainly there in a meaningful way. And I think Stokastic may have bumped his minutes up because they updated projections while I've been on stream. Derek Queen, 20% leverage here. He looks good, but that's a lot of ownership for Derek Queen getting Poole in. And Robert Williams, again, looks good if he goes. We're assuming that he will be playing high 20s minutes. That's how that looks. Leverage plays or negative leverage plays, your biggest fades. Denny Avdia, only 15% exposure. So you're just going different directions. Just out of curiosity, instead of Avdia, you're getting more Nikola Jokic, almost 3x the field there. You're getting Jaylen Brown a little bit above the field. You're not playing Şengün still. Play a little bit of Harden, a little bit of Murray. A lot of Russell Westbrook. So maybe just more balanced builds, it seems. But definitely a noteworthy fade there on Denny Avdia. He is only in where'd that number go? He's only in 15% of the top 150 lineups, fields at 53. Peyton Pritchard, 5% exposure, fields at 17. Big fade on him, which, sure. I think he's a little bit cheap, but he's certainly not a must-have play. Just out that Nick Clifford will start for injured Zach LaVine. All right, so maybe that's in the data. He still is not a good per-minute producer. But yeah, I mean, what's the projection on Clifford? 18.4 fantasy points. I mean, that's still whatever. I get why he'd be value. I don't know that he's actually a good play. But look, he's got draft capital behind him. The team doesn't want to trade him for some reason, so maybe he'll get opportunity today. Given that you have two key guys out. But you still have a lot of guys chuck around him. Peyton Pritchard, though, field Stokastic very low in the fields number on him. Jonas Valanciunas, you're getting 24% fields at 35. Decent fade here. Cam Johnson, yeah, I think it does include him not starting because the previous projection was at 15. That's the one that I have on my sheet. So Jonas Valanciunas, 24%, Cam Johnson, 14, about negative 10% leverage on both. And Precious Achiuwa, only in 20% of lineups, fields at 30. So Stokastic fading Achiuwa as well, but still he's in about 20% of lineups. It's not really that big of a fade. All right, let's go to the single lineup sim here. Last stage of our journey. Let me refresh. Let's see what we can build. I'm not putting Nick Clifford in unless I absolutely have to. Let me sort by everything here on my sheet. Make sure I've got this right. I'm actually just going to quickly see if can I grab their minutes? I think their shit's still down. Yeah, I can't easily grab their minutes. So I'm going to keep my old minutes and just assume that I can figure this out well enough. I think they had to have juked Westbrook's up a little bit higher, though. All right. Point guard, Avdia for me, Rollins, Malik Monk. I know that Stokastic's going to agree on that. Let's go Malik Monk here. Shooting guard. I think it would be Ryan Rollins for me. We do know Stokastic gave Ryan Rollins a high ROI, so I don't think they're going to dock me for playing him here. I am going to go Ryan Rollins at shooting guard. Small forward, Denny Avdia looking the best to me. Jeremy Grant also looking good, but I could play him at power forward. I'm going to go Avdia and see if we can make this work. We might have to swap down off him because he's pretty expensive. But I do like all of the Blazers in this spot with the amount of teammates they're missing and the fact they're playing the Pelicans. I'm going to go Jeremy Grant at power forward. Again, he projects really well for me. Still very well for Stokastic at 6,300. Center. Oh, we cannot afford Jokic now at all. We'd have to play three 3K guys to afford Jokic. So I'm going to have to pass on him. I think let's put in Robert Williams, who is center only. We got 5,500 left for our last three spots. I need another guard. Peyton Pritchard, KPJ. Can we fit enough players around KPJ? Let's see. 4,500 left with forward and utility. Could definitely see why people play J-Val at 3,400 or Nick Clifford at 3,500. Any other cheap forwards that I like more? I'm going to sort by value real fast. I just want to see if there's a way to do this without going Joe Val or Nick Clifford. Obviously, we know the sim will be okay with either one, in particular Nick. Jordan Walsh is 4,700 now. Josh Minot, I would have fractionally better than Nick Clifford, but he is also $100 more. Keon Ellis is small forward. I can live with that. Go Keon Ellis. I got 5,700 left. Let's show affordable players. Oh, Peyton Watson. I'd be okay with that. Maxime Reynaud. Doesn't project as well for me on this slate. I'll go Peyton Watson. All right, so the team here, we got Malik Monk, Ryan Rollins, Denny Avdia, Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams, Kevin Porter Jr., Keon Ellis, Peyton Watson. 9% ROI is not the highest, but a 0.1% win rate. I can live with this, so I don't have to do another one. Clifford played over 30 minutes twice this season and was only in the low 20s on... Was in the low 20s on... Okay. That doesn't mean that's enough of a ceiling. On a slate where there isn't value, I get it. I still don't think he projects that well, and I doubt he'll project better than 18 for me. So you can make the case that he then probably beat his median outcome in those 2 games. And I mean, is he at least shooting poorly or something like that? I can give him an excuse. No, he's not shooting a lot. He is shooting poorly in addition to not shooting a lot. 50% true shooting. So maybe he's due to shoot better. He's not really shooting a lot of threes, though. 1.7 a game. I don't know. You have Keon Ellis right there. And as I just talked about, like, I don't think Keon Ellis is any better. But I think rolling the dice on Keon Ellis and treating him as the same guy as Nick Clifford, probably not a bad move. But I think the team's invested in Clifford. He just has shown not very much in the underlying data. Either way, guys, I'm going to give you guys my splash plays for the day in one moment. Before I do that, though, please do hit that like button. Please subscribe. You guys know the deal at this point. It goes a long way for me here. Whether, you know, any creator you like on YouTube, really do the best you can to hit the like button for them. I even started to do it more. Like, I honestly, even here being on YouTube for years, I still don't hit the like button a lot for people whose content I enjoy. But lately, I've been more mindful of it because I've seen the effect it's had on my channel. So hit the like button. Help me out here. Subscribe to if you want to see these videos. Of course, Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. going through the NBA with the same process and my same effort level some days more. But still pretty much a lot of effort every day. Stokastic too, probably can't sign up right now, but you will be able to eventually with the promo code SPLASH, get 15% off, and then half the money you pay to Stokastic does come back here, so it supports the channel, and you get the best data, Sims products, build great lineups every day with Stokastic for 15% off with that promo code SPLASH. And last but not least, join the channel here, $5 to join as a supporter, and you get access to the Discord. And if you join on one of the higher tiers, you get my data updated throughout the night as well. Same screens you see here on stream, you get it for yourself, and you join the Squirt Squad tiers down below. All right, splash plays for the day. Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams if he plays. And if he doesn't play, Yang Hansen. But keep in mind, they all get worse if Robert Williams is out. And if Hansen doesn't play, Duop Reith. Like, that center spot's valuable tonight. I like Denny Avdia, but I am a little bit under on him. I still would say he'll be a core play for me. DeMar DeRozan, Ryan Rollins, I'll be above the field on. Nikola Jokic, I'll be above the field on. Those are a few that I think will be priorities for me in various ways. Make sure to gamble responsibly, guys, even though it is always money time here. Follow me. Actually, no. Also, check out my NFL content. Did the strategy show this morning on Stokastic with Lofty, so that's always a great time talking on there. If you enjoy the boys talking back and forth, friend style content, I would say. I think those streams with Lofty will scratch that itch. If you want to see the same process for NFL, check out the @Splash Play Pod channel, and you can see my stream today on the Falcons Bucks game. I've got some leans on there, and they're spoiler alert: Falcons pass game, Bucky Irving. I like those relative to ownership, and Bucky, I'm surprised to see how low they had him in the data. That's it for today, guys. Let me check the chats one more time. Yeah, nothing else. I'll be back tomorrow with more at 2 p.m. See you guys then. Enjoy your days. Good luck. Bye-bye. And stay tuned for projections updates if you are a member. All right. See you guys.